We ain't taking no L's. No, 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 no. Saints breaking out of sales. Go, 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 go. The battle's been won. He said it's on. So we ain't taking no.
Hey guys, Paul McLean here. Welcome back to the Monday Morning Mindset Podcast. I hope this is serving you and serving you well. My goal every week is to provide great value where you leave not just inspired, but you also have practical things you could do to make this week better than last week so you can progress towards your goals. And so before we get started, I'm just going to tell you guys, this is going to be one worth sharing. If you don't care about people, then don't share it. But if you're like, I love people, share this because it could bless them. I've got two great guests on today that are going to really unpack how their mindset has shifted. I got Caiden on with me. Caiden, good to have you on, brother.
What's going on?
Good to have you, my man. Basem.
How's it going?
I'd give you like what we can't reach, but dude, good to have you on, my man. And guys, let me just kind of preface it with this. For one, Caiden, what's your age?
19.
Basem?
19.
Okay, so both 19, and you guys didn't start out finding great success. It took a little while. There's been a shift in your mindset as far as how you see yourself, how you see the business, how you see where you're going. I think perspective is everything. I believe that in this business, 80% of it's mindset, 20% is mechanics, and there's no question that Pinnacle gives such a great blueprint of what to do and how to do it. Like nobody's confused on like when I call a lead, what do I say? When I get an objection, what do I say? Like how do I go through and eat? Like all that stuff is just laid out. So if that's the case, why do some succeed and why do some fail? Mindset. And so I want to really unpack this. To get it started, I want to have you guys kind of share a little bit about your background, you know, where your mindset was prior to getting your insurance license and stepping into business. So Caiden, I'll start with you, kind of a brief background, where you're at, mindset, upbringing, kind of what led you to here, and then let's unpack how it's shifted since then.
Okay, yeah, so my name's Caiden Moreno. I'm 19 years old, and before insurance, man, I was just, I liked working with my hands, dude. I really relied off of a schedule, being told what to do, and I didn't have that business mindset, nor did I ever see myself switching to that mindset. So I really kind of went with any job that I could find, such as construction, painting. We even worked at a tow yard. And then I came into the office, you know, I met Peyton, which brought me into the office, and I started wholesaling, and I came into the office alone. Peyton's the one who told me about wholesaling, the potential it had, and dude, I was like, dude, 20,000 in one play, let's go, like, let's go do it. And I hopped into it with high hopes, man, but I didn't have a entrepreneur mindset, dude. So going into that was really rough, especially dialing, everything like that. And so I was doing that for 6 months up until insurance. And let
me get some context to it. So if you're like, what are you talking about wholesaling? So yeah. Before I got back into the space, I had a couple years non-compete. So Caiden kind of reached out like, hey, what are you doing? At the time, I was doing more real estate and wholesaling, which is very similar parallels, but the sales journey is elongated. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more of a process to get it, and not nearly as lucrative. So the moment it ended and I jumped in and partnered with Pinnacle, that's when you shifted to get your license, but you had already been kind of coming on board in an environment where your mindset was starting to shift just because of the environment you were placed in. So go ahead and continue. I just wanted to make sure that people
everyone's always confused about that, like wholesaling products. No, houses, man. So yeah, being on the phones on wholesaling I'd say it's a way different experience than calling insurance leads, man. I mean, I'm lowballing houses, man. So I'm getting the most crucial no's, getting yelled at, everything like that. And then, dude, the environment was the biggest change for me. The boys weren't in here yet, such as Josh, Nick, and Todd and Ray. So I had like realtors and loan officers around me, dude. So, and I've never been in a office like that. I've always been in like a tow yard. I'm hanging around with like 40-year-old men, you know, so just kicking it. And so coming into the office, dude, being around you and just these top dogs, I had no choice but just to try to put myself out there and just walk around with my chest up, you know. And then switching into insurance, it was a totally different game, but I'll wait for those questions.
Okay, so Basem, a little bit about your backstory. So like where you're at mentally, like did you believe that you could go out and make, you know, 20, 30,000 in a month? Like where were you at before you got licensed and joined Pinnacle?
Before I got into all of this, I was going to the fire academy actually, and I graduated from that around this time last year. And then from June till November, that's when I was doing my prereqs going through the fire academy. From December until I would say April when I came into the office, I was trying to do get my NREMT, and I kept failing that. So then I was like, screw it. Like I think I got tired of like, you know, failing in that industry, and I was like, okay, I see more potential in myself. So then I met Caiden, and he brought me into wholesaling, so I was doing that with him as well, getting the reps in, help, transitioning into life insurance. But I'm sorry. What
was the big? No, that was great.
Yeah.
So like your background was like you had no vision of like building a business, starting a business, running your own schedule. It was kind of like get a good job and then
Stable
make some
check.
good money, decent money, have a family, provide for them. Like that was kind of the vision, which I believe a lot of people, just in the democracy that we're in, that's kind of what they're taught. Like, hey, go to college or go get a trade license, get going, make some decent money. And then your life just kind of is what it is. Did you guys have people in your corner thinking like you were going to do well, or did they think you were crazy?
For me, my family, a big thing, they didn't like what I was doing because my family's like, they're not salespeople. I come from a 9-to-5 family. So growing up, especially like from my family, they expected me to become like an engineer, lawyer, or a doctor. So I didn't see myself. I didn't want to go into. I hated high school, so I didn't like college. Even during the fire academy, I didn't like what I was doing. I was like, why am I even doing this? I was like, I was doing it for fun. So,
what made you so attracted to this industry?
Being able to do whatever I want, when I want. I think the environment too, being around, younger guys like Nick, Josh, Todd, Ray, Caiden. It's fun, You're out here serving clients, printing cash. And so, I love it. So
I love it, dude. That's what I'd always say. Like, hey, it's like so simple. It's like printing money in your mom's basement, right? But, I love that because it's kind of like there's trade-offs to everything in life. Sometimes you think like, well, if I go, work a 9-to-5 job, then, I'll make a decent paycheck and have some security. But the truth is, what are you giving up for doing that? You have no autonomy of your schedule. You can't go out there and make what you decide to make, because this is a reverse engineering business. Like, you can look at your numbers and say, Paul, I want to make $20,000 a month, and we can reverse engineer and say it takes this amount of leads, this amount of dials, this many contacts, this many presentations, this many closes, and so you can really kind of formulate that, right? But there's also a having fun part of it. Like, I think that's a big part, and we'll get into that too. But like, you guys are not just like hating what you're doing. You enjoy it. You guys have fun with each other, messing around. You're supposed to have fun. Like that's something that's healthy for you, is to have fun. Most people think fun's on the other end of paying the price for a long period of time, and then once I get to financial freedom or once I get to retirement, then I'm gonna have fun. No, you're gonna also be miserable then too. Like, it's a thing that you got to incorporate and put into it. But this business is so beautiful because you could do all of that, right? What was the big mindset shift that you had, Basem? Like, looking at where you're at day one, right? Fire Academy, that's where you're at, to today. Because this month you're going to issue pay, like $40,000 or something like that?
Yeah.
You're already at like halfway through the month.
19.
You're 19. Caiden, same thing. Halfway through the month, you're at 21,000. So it'd be weird if you guys didn't hit 45,
Maybe
probably 50. Because you got momentum, right?
Right?
Momentum actually makes you look better than you actually are when you've got it. So for anybody on here, if you've got momentum, don't lose it. If you lose it and you have no momentum, you actually look twice as bad as you actually are. So it's an enhancement. But talk about like the shift from day one to now. Like, what's been the shift?
For me, I would say building that confidence. I would say starting out dialing, I would admit, when you or even like Todd would be near me, not talking to me, but like near me, like how far you are, I would hang up on the client. They'll answer and they'll be like, hello, and I'll get shy and like hang up. So then I realized, it's not about like other people, it's about the client. I go in assuming that they did fill it out and they do need help. So being confident and being assumptiveness in what you're saying. So that's why my intro kind of sounds something like this. For example, Paul.
Yep.
Hey, Paul, this is Basem. I'm a medical field underwriter for the state of California. I'm getting back to you about a request, but just to confirm, I'm talking to the right Paul McLean. You listed your date of birth as blank. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then this is where I changed in my script that I seen helped me and it shifted dramatically, is where I say you listed your beneficiary down as other, where you're looking to leave something behind for your family or get your final expenses taken care of. There's no beneficiary listed on the strong point leads. So I just made that little switch, and it kind of like instead of saying life insurance, people hang up and it throws them off. I say that, and then I'll be able to figure out, why they want to leave it behind to that person.
Well, the one thing too I want to point out with that is like your mindset is finding a solution, right? So a lot of times somebody will call, let's just call it a lead, like the strong point lead, and they say, well, the beneficiary is not there, and they keep getting hung up there, so they just assume like that's what it is. It is what it is, opposed to saying like, well, no, what can I do? What can I say that's going to set me up to get the result I want, which is protecting this family? And if my desire is to protect this family, then what's the solution? And I think that alone, dude, just it expresses a change of your mind, your state of mind, because it's not now like victim, broke-mindedness. It's like solution-minded. How do I get the job done? How do I still serve them? And I think that it's a philosophy of experimentation. So for me, that's always been a big help, which is like nothing's final. There's always a way to spin something. There's always a way to tweak something. There's always a way to adjust something. And so instead of saying like, man, I just couldn't do nothing with it. It is what it is. Like I just keep getting that. There's no beneficiary. I keep saying this and I'm not getting the response I want. The other thing is like, well, all these people that are writing $50,000 a month, they probably would help this client. They'd probably be able to help them. So there's something I can do to tweak and adjust. And it's one of those things where it's ownership. So you go from saying the leads suck to no, I think I suck and I can get better. And that's a big, big deal, because the moment it's about you, you can tweak, adjust, and actually make it better. But if it's something outside of your control where it's the leads, well, now your mindset is shut down to actually doing anything that's going to move the needle or help the client or get you towards where you want to get financially, right? And so I love that. I mean, that's a big deal.
That's what, for me, if I realize if I'm confident in what I'm saying, I'm confident in the script, and I'm confident in the value I bring, then the client will believe in you if you believe in yourself. So that's what helped me a lot.
I love that. Caiden, what about you, dude? Like, how have you built confidence on the phones, connecting with clients? I mean, I see you quite frequently because you're right across the office, and I've seen like a change in your attitude where it's almost like your expectation is that anybody that's on the phone with you, you're going to serve them, you're going to help them, you're going to provide value to them, where before I would probably describe it as you're just kind of like, gosh, I hope I can get this one. Hopefully they don't hang up. Hopefully they allow me to stay on the phone. Hopefully I can get the banking information. Like it was almost like this. It's like I'm hoping it can work out, but I'm not expecting that it will. But God, it'd be great if it did. Like, how have you shifted your expectation, and kind of talk a little bit about that?
Dude, I think the solid answer to that was at first, so you said, there was two things that you saw, and the second one was I was kind of scared going into it, and I think that was just because I wasn't full all in, right? And it goes back to wholesaling. When I was doing the reps, getting those dials, getting those hard no's, getting yelled at, getting those reps in is what really built the confidence going into life insurance. So going into life insurance, I wasn't scared about dialing. I wasn't scared about getting any no's, anything like that. However, I was scared about really committing into buying leads and things like that, because I had no money still. I didn't make money in wholesaling, and I didn't have a job at the time. So I was really just kind of going, full pedal to the floor, for life insurance. So I think me buying leads and fearing that, I wasn't going to get an ROI or a return from those leads was holding me back. So I think one day, I kind of just accepted, like, if I'm going to do this, might as well go, full force at this, right? So dialing those leads, I actually heard a really good phrase that, and it kind of sounds silly, but this is really what switched my mindset, was when I buy these leads, man, again, I hope that every single answer was a close, right? And there was times where, man, I'd get an objection that I just couldn't overcome at all. So this is the analogy that I heard. If we had a gumball machine here in the office that had, a single red gumball in it that's worth like $2,500 or whatever it may be, and then there's like, 100 blue gumballs in there that are worth whatever I'm paying for leads, $2.49. Man, I would buy all of the gumballs until I get that one red gumball, right? So it's a really silly mindset shift, but hearing that analogy really changed it from like, man, I'm really just organizing my leads until I find this one client that needs help. And then at the end of the day, going into that dial, I just really told myself, like, look, if this client, if I can't get past whatever objection he gives me, if I don't have the skills to do that, and he dies tomorrow, I'm screwing him over. I'm screwing his family over, so I need to figure this out to get that close.
Man, that's so good. I mean, two big points that I want to make there, man. Very, very good. I love that analogy as well. But at the end of the day, you ended with, like, it's about them. And see, the moment that you take your eyes off yourself, you no longer start focusing on, I need to find that red gumball, but your focus is like, how can I best serve that client? Like, it's going to come, but I need to treat every blue gumball like it's a red gumball.
Right.
Like, I'm disservicing all the blue ones until I find the red ones, because I could probably do a better job if my eyes are really focused on the client. And it's like you multiply what's magnified. There's actually probably more than just one red gumball, but the moment you start magnifying and treating all the blue ones like a red ones, all of a sudden there's more red ones that come out, and you can actually make a blue one a red one. And so I love that as far as the analogy of it, because it's the truth. Like, I've told you guys this a bunch of times when you were doing wholesaling all the way up until now, but like, most people go to college for 4 years, they get a degree, they end the 4 years with a degree and with debt. So they got a ton of debt, they don't have income, they didn't make any money, they paid for their education, and now they're going to hope to get a job that's probably going to pay them $75,000 a year if they're lucky, while they're paying down this debt, making no money. Because $75,000 in today's world, that's the cost of like my Target bill. Like,
right.
I don't even know how you do that. It's just a different, but that's the pathway. Here, what if it took you like a year before you started making sales? Like, I know there's some people, like I was talking to Colin, he's like 90 days and then I finally made my first sale. Nick finally got his first couple after 50 days.
Right.
But what if it took you 1 year? For one, your education cost you nothing, but also you developed significantly mental toughness, character, accountability, perseverance, all these characteristics that will lead you to a higher level in every area of your life. Persistence, perseverance, consistency, discipline, mental toughness, all that allows you to be a better father one day, a better spouse, a better in your relationships, like everything. So you're developing an education that teaches you to do the most important craft that you could ever have, which is the art of communication, the art of connecting, the art of persuasion, the art of getting your thought process transferred to somebody else's, where they actually buy into your thought process as it's their own, so they take it and run with it. That's how you lead a fruitful, fulfilling life. Like, we're always selling. Like, I sell my kids to eat the right food. I sell them to get out of bed. Like, for a lot of you guys, you got to try to sell your wife after 10 o'clock at night. Like, you're closing, right? Like, you're closing. It's a transfer of thoughts and ideas. And so it's such a critical craft that you can develop. But it's a way you see it. Because if you don't see it that way and compare it to that, well, then you're like, dude, it's been 3 weeks. It's been 4 weeks. If I was working a job in a tow yard, I would have got paid $1,500 by now. Well, dude, what's it worth? What's the trade-off worth in your mind?
Right.
Yes, or you're getting a year of education. And by the way, I'm using that as just a way to kind of create the right frame.
Dude, well, I want to say this real quick. I guess you can vouch for me as well, and even my parents, because you asked a question earlier to Basem. Was anyone doubting you going into this? I definitely wasn't doubted. However, maybe my friends and stuff like that. My mom's a big supporter. Except, dude, the 6 months of wholesaling, although it wasn't with Pinnacle, although it wasn't, whatever, the 6 months of wholesaling, dude, you can probably vouch for me, and so can Peyton, and so can my friends and parents, on how much I learned. And that's the way I speak to people, the way I walk into rooms, the way I, handle new situations, the way I solve problems. Because, in insurance, all we're doing is solving problems, man. So my problem-solving skills and every other skill, not just, the skill of making money, grew. And going into insurance, dude, I think that's what really, I didn't really care if I didn't make money in the first couple of weeks or whatever, but because the impact that it was making on my life, especially with Pinnacle, because we're not just focused on the bag, we're really focused on serving and growing in every aspect of our life. Dude, I was just like, let's do it. I'm growing this much. What's next? What am I going to look like in a year from now? I was really becoming the person that I've always wanted to be, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you said something to me, maybe it's a month ago. You said, like, growing up, a lot of times, like, your family just thought of you being, like, kind of negative. Right?
Yeah,
like, they just
absolutely.
were like, oh, Caiden's just negative, pessimistic. I've seen a complete shift, especially recently, where I would say you're very optimistic and positive. I don't see the same thing that maybe they seen. Has it been? Do you think it's a big part of that is the environment, like being associated around other people that are going after something in life? Is it personal development? Like, what's kind of helped you with that?
All three, absolutely. Again, just being around a team of positive individuals, being around you. There's literally not one day I've seen Paul negative, and I'm not, just like lifting him up. There's literally not one day, unless it's like in private. I don't know. Anyways, but it's the environment, being around people who constantly want to grow. Not only that, dude, coming into this industry, you will learn very, very quick. Being negative will get you nowhere. You can't not go into the next call with a negative mindset. You will get you can't even walk into the office with a negative mindset because you're not going to sit down and dial and do the work that needs to be done diligently, right? So definitely that. I think that's what really changed was coming into this industry. I realized that negative mindset didn't get you anywhere. So being my environment, and yeah.
I love that, dude. Basem, what about you? Have you seen yourself like develop as a person over the past couple months after getting your license and moving forward?
Yeah, I would definitely say my communication skills have definitely gotten better. Caiden can vouch for that. I think going into it, what would you say? I had like a speech impediment?
I don't know, man. Basem just talked really slow on the phones. He read the script's really robot-like, so but man, the change. I mean, he talks clear now. He would talk slow back then.
Well, you follow the script, right?
Yeah. Well, I used to now, just off the top of my head.
Because you know the script is internalized, and I think that's a big deal.
Yes.
Like you got to internalize the scripts. Too often times, like, I want to make it personal. No, it doesn't need to be personal. You need to change your personality to fit the actual script,
and just be confident in what you say and just stick to the script and it'll work out.
I think one of the biggest things that held me back was not mastering that script, and I was because one of the things, it's funny because asking recruiting questions, I ask my clients or I ask whoever I want to recruit, like, hey, are you coachable, or like do you like doing your things your own way? And dude, the answer that I want is both. Because, dude, it needs to be both. Because I can't just coach you through this whole way. You need to be able to walk, some of it yourself. So I think it was not listening to the script and like, dude, I got this myself. I did wholesaling, and I had to go back and like, dude, I need to read the script and internalize it before I go and try to change it, dude. So I was up every night reading this thing. I'd go to bed reading it. And, dude, I'd say this real quick. Or actually, I'll save this question because I know you're going to ask something about like, what would you say to another agent? And I'll save that one. But internalizing that dang script before I even changed it myself was so important.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it goes back to like, just knowing that the recipe's there, there's proof of concept everywhere. Why would you not follow it, right? Yeah. And I think that's important. And just so everybody knows, like you've got a team. You've got about 4 or 5 agents that are selling. You got some going through licensing. What's your team? What do you think your team's going to issue pay this month?
Dude, this month I'm really hoping for a good 75. Basem, we're at 20. I'm at 20, so we're already at 40. So another guy's Nick's picking it up. He's right here behind the camera. So I really want to hit 75 as a team.
I think you could do 100.
Do 100?
If you guys are already at 20 halfway through the month, why not go after getting your logo?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I call it 100 right now.
Well, look, it's recorded. So did you guys hear that? He said
meet me back.
100,000.
Meet me back in about 30 days.
We'll see if Caiden's really committed, right? If you do 100,000, I believe you can do it, dude. There's no doubt about it. And I mean that. So, Basem, the one thing I want you to kind of talk about is like, I feel like when you're on the phones, you've developed this confidence where you don't care what other people are thinking. You don't care about the client if they're mean to you or whatever. You kind of laugh at you laugh it off. You're focused on, let me just call the next one. What do you think's helped you build that confidence on the phones where you're now at this place where you should pay $40,000 this month?
Repetitions, dialing a lot. And not just having that confidence, because like I said before, I think I would let a lot of clients like walk away, like they would just like say, oh, I'm busy or whatever, and I just let them walk off. Now I just like completely ignore them. I'll just go through the script, and they'll just end up like listening. Like right before this, he was like, oh, call me back tomorrow or whatever, and so I just like ignored him and I went through the script, and so I'm gonna call him back after this, and hopefully. No, I am going to close it at 226 Smart UO.
I love it.
So
that's so powerful. Just ignoring it. If it's not something
laser focus.
Yeah, if it doesn't lead to your success, then act like it didn't happen. You see, most of the time with everything, we get so focused on the objection that we actually make the objection bigger when we're trying to remove it. The difference is if you ignore it, sometimes it just goes away. And if you're the doctor, they're the patient, you're in control. It'd be like going to a doctor's office and like, hey, I need to listen to you breathing. Let me put whatever that thing is on your chest and you breathe. And you're like, whoa, dude, hands off. Like, what are you doing? The doctor would be like, okay, lift up your shirt. Like he would ignore it because he's like,
right.
Like, with all due respect, then just get out of my office. I've got a whole waiting room full of patients. That's just good. Like you guys, I got a whole binder. I got a whole CRM full of leads. Like, I'm gonna ignore when you say something done. Yeah, it's like it's like one of my kids. It's like, hey, I don't want to take a shower. It's like, that's great. You should never shower. You should see like what you can grow underneath your armpits and stuff. Like, it'd be great. Like a science experiment will I respond with ignorance. Like what are we talking about? And it's the same thing. They filled out a form, so it's like, what are we talking about, guys? Like, this is the most important thing you can get for your family, because one day you're not going to be here, and I will be here for you to step in to provide that check to your family in the most important time that they're ever going to need it. And so that's got to be the focus that you have. You also, I believe, have built confidence by building up what I call like the deserve more factor. What that is like when you do things that others don't do and you're aware that they don't do it, but you did it, it builds confidence. Like this fourth quarter magic where you're here at 9 o'clock at night, 9:30 at night, and I'm getting text messages about you helping another client. Talk about the fourth quarter magic and how that's built confidence, because there's no question that it has.
So there would be nights and days where I would dial all day. I would have like 500-600 dials and barely any people answering or no sales made. And so what helps me like get through that is I've had nights before where I stayed till 9:30 and I want to leave, but what reminds myself is there's still that one person that's up, because I like calling Texas leads. They're 2 hours ahead.
So you're calling at 9 o'clock, it's 11 o'clock?
I'm waking them, in bed. They'll get pissed off, mad. I'm like, whatever. And sometimes I usually just close them, because there'll be that one person, that cares about their family. And it's never too late to buy life insurance.
What telemarketer also is calling at 11 o'clock at night? Like, I get telemarketers blow my phone
FaceTime
up.
audio.
Yeah, FaceTime.
Yeah.
I mean, especially, like, who's going to FaceTime audio a telemarketer at 11 o'clock at night? So instantly, they're thinking, like, I know this person. Right. Or this is something that's going on. This is an important call. And the reality is, it is. Mm-hmm. And so what it shows them is that, for one, this is an important call, because who called? Like, it's something I got to know or I should know. It's a FaceTime audio. It's 11 o'clock at night.
But I get that question too. Why are you calling me? Why are you calling me this late?
Yeah, and the response is because I know how important this was for your family. I'm working overtime, and my job is to service you. You had sent in this request. We dropped the ball. I'm getting back to you, right? And that's what you guys say. It's in the script.
Yes.
But like that. That's how. It sets actually the right stage. A lot of times we play tricks in our own head. What we think is isn't, and what we think isn't is. Like, the truth is, it actually is better calling people late at night, because the ones that pick up the phone, they're more inclined to lean in and say, well, this is important. He wouldn't be calling me at this late night because he's working late at night. And so let me just listen a little bit, and then you get them. And you can start building the why and going through the script. Absolutely love that. I mean, the fourth, and you've sold probably, I would say, what's a percentage of deals you've closed after 7 o'clock at night?
80%.
It seems like
80.
Yeah, absolutely 80%, dude.
So it's so like when I had those days where I don't make nothing, like I'm having a rough day, I remind myself about the other nights where when I stay till 9:30, I make that one extra dial. There's one time where I called my whole list, and I scrolled to the top again, and I counted 1, 2, 3, and I just picked a random one, and I called her up. I think FaceTime audio is definitely a big one, because when you call a lead, if they have an iPhone, it goes straight to voicemail. So I think what I realized I caught on too fast, or I caught on fast, was the FaceTime audio, and they answer more, and they don't question it. So it's funny too. But
I think it's just the power of one more, dude, because literally I think he's had this happen in a night, and I've had it happen in a night, same night. Dude, it was my last lead of the night, my last fresh lead, dialed it, and I was like, dude, I'm going home. Bro, I just dialed 400 numbers. I'm tired. I'm going home. You know what? Let me just get this one more. Bro, and it was a close. It was like, it's the power of one more. It's the power of one more rep, dude. It's at my life, man. It's powerful.
Well, yeah, 100%, dude. Like, and I think that's applicable to everything, with recruiting, with building. Like, success is found in that little bit more, right? It's like that little bit extra, and success is found in those extra inches. But a lot of times we'll say, well, I've already given 90%, 95%, and I've only received this. So if I go 5% more, I'm gonna receive in proportionate to what my 95% is produced, and that's not the case. That 5% more, it comes with a great multiplier. Like, it comes with great dividends, because where everybody stops and you go a little bit further, that's typically where success is. And that's a great concept for everybody watching here, to the point of, like, you're probably closer than you think you are, because a lot of times we'll look at, like, well, man, I'm not getting the result I want. I'm struggling. I want to hit 10K, I'm only hitting 3K this week or whatever. So we judge what we put in, our effort, our energy, our commitment, the risk, the investment, based off of 3K and how we feel tied to that, and then we forecast that present emotion and belief into 7 more K, and we think like, there's no way. The truth is, it's a small tweak, a small adjustment in perspective, one more extra phone call a night, getting there 30 minutes earlier. You're way closer than you think. And I've seen that multiple times going to sales meetings where I go through numbers. This person, hits 10K, this person hits 4. This person actually made more phone calls, did all the activity was higher. And then we come to find out this one didn't miss any of the podcast. This one missed the podcast. The one that wrote 10K, listen to all the podcasts. So maybe their mind was a little bit more tuned in to being in the right frame of mind to be successful because they were feeding themselves. They were getting their mind right. This one person, they actually dialed from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. This person didn't at all. So it was these small little bit further, going a little bit further in different things that led to the fruit. And it always works out that way. Caiden, what's one habit you've changed the past 30 days that you believe has really kind of helped develop this top producer mindset?
Again, another plain simple answer, dude, and the numbers show it. If you look at my sales, you can see there's literally a day where I just woke up and it was, good from there. Although there's still things I can improve, it was my schedule. Although Holly came in during the California Summit event and she spoke about schedule and it really hit for me. So I wrote on my sticky note, let's get here at 7:30. Let's pray. Let's dial by this time. But I wasn't really sticking by those times. I came in one week and I was like, dude, I'm gonna wake up at 6:30 and I'm gonna get to the office. I'm gonna dial. And I had a set schedule, but sticking to the set schedule and waking up at the same time every day and having an actual set schedule that you know what you're going to do in the next couple of hours was awesome. Because I dial for 4 hours and I'm like, man, what's next? And then now that I have a schedule, I'm like, oh, all right, let's recruit for another hour. That way I can have a break from dialing. Now we're going back into dialing. And it was just an insane change. I didn't even notice it, but the numbers just came like that.
Man, I love that. And Holly, she came in and spoke about schedule at one of the events, and I've seen this happen so many times, that the great mindset shift, because that's the difference between winning and losing. That's the difference between 10K a month and 50K a month. That's the difference between having a team doing 50,000 a month and a team doing 500,000 a month. It's your mindset. That's what it is. So what's going to put you in the best position to shift your mindset? It's big events, right? And so we've got that national summit coming up. I'm just telling you guys, if this is your business or you want to actually make money, it's your career, and you don't go, you've casted the greatest vote for a possible failure that you could ever imagine. The odds are now stacked so far against you. Why would you do that? Why would you stack the odds against you? And when you go, you're going to have these paradigm shifts in your mind where you see things different, you believe different, you commit to the thing that maybe you knew you should do, but you weren't yet doing it. It's the catalyst to just absolutely exploding. And to your point, that one habit came from a talk at a regional event.
Yeah, if I didn't hear that, I'd still be hitting 3K.
I love that. What do you think's one thing, Basem, that's kind of kept you from quitting, right? When things weren't going well, what kept you from just hanging it up and saying I kind of gave a good run at this thing, because the first 3-4 weeks you weren't having great results. You're figuring it out. There's a learning curve. What do you believe kind of kept you moving and not hanging it up?
To keep it simple, there is no plan B. This is the only plan I have. So I like improving it myself every day. I'm getting better. And obviously, I've seen that over time, compared from day one till now. The first, month or two, I think I struggled a lot, getting the hang of it, getting used to it. And then once I, became more confident in myself, I realized this is, anybody can do it. Sometimes I just sit there and I'm dialing and I'm closing a deal, and I just realized myself, this is, simple, anybody can do it. So there really isn't no other plan for me, so that's why.
I love that, man. Caiden, what about you? In the beginning, what was the battle that was going on in your mind? That tension, that little voice, what was the battle that you were struggling with, whether that was identity, what was that, and then what is it now?
Rephrase that question one more time.
So was there a struggle that you were going on in your mind, I'm not good enough, this isn't gonna work?
Dude, yeah, absolutely. And that was just with me going, it's such a big mindset switch. And although I did have the wholesaling for 6 months, trying to switch from work to business, because even in the wholesaling I was like, dude, Paul, I need to go back to work. You know, like this isn't for me. So I think the biggest thing was the fear of failure. We all know that's like one of the biggest things that everyone struggles with. So it was the fear of failure, and it was just the biggest thing was going in there with no money. And I think so the only thing holding me down was myself, especially because my mindset in that time wasn't right. I just lost like my buddy. So, you know, my mindset was everywhere, dude. I didn't know what was next, what to do next. And so going into it, my mind was everywhere, dude. But I kind of just had to give it my all. And going out of it, there's a lot of things like podcast. I wanted to grow and be a leader. So I had to obtain a lot of podcasts, read a lot of books. And that was just everything and the eye-opener to changing my mindset.
I love that. Were you listening to podcasts or reading books before you got
Dude, nothing.
in the business?
I didn't know. I tell a lot of people this, and I shout at Paul. But I've had great parents that taught me manners, things like that, how to work hard as a 9 to 5, you know, or be a hard worker. But I've never been taught how to grow my mind. That's why one of my biggest goals now is to go and provide that to people my age who don't have that, be a leader. But I wasn't reading any books, no podcasts, wasn't even in the Bible, man. I wasn't worshiping, nothing like that. And as soon as I got that in there, bro, it was the biggest mind shift ever. Like, it was so needed.
So if you're talking to somebody that's like 18, 19 years old, what advice would you give them to help them level up their mindset?
Oh, my gosh.
Is there like podcast books? Like, what would you?
Yeah. I definitely start saying, listen to Ed Milet. I mean, I don't know, whatever age you are, Ed Milet really speaks well to you. And he kind of has so many different stories that you can relate to. And I'd say one of the biggest things to get your mindset right is you really just got to ask yourself who you are and who you want to be. I think me and Basem came into the podcast room, messed around one day, and like, dude, why do you want to be rich? Why do you want to be Rick? Like, what's the reason? You got to have a reason. Like, is it you want a family? You want to support your family? Like, you got to have a deep down reason. So ask yourself the why first. Why are you going to go do this? And it better be a good one, because whatever you're going to do, you better go with a true reason. But yeah, and then any podcast would be Ed Milet, dude. Get into the Bible. Start praying. And faith, man. I don't know if people believe in the stars or whatever, band, but I would not be where I am right now if I didn't trust that God had my back throughout this.
I love that, dude. Very good. So you developed some spiritual faith disciplines as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a month or two. What are those? Like, what are the disciplines that you feel like help build your faith up?
I think one of the biggest ones was gratitude, and you put me on that one too, because I think at the end of the day I was pretty blind on what I had. I always thought, I didn't have anything, but man, I mean, I'm alive. I got 2 feet. I got 10 toes, 10 fingers, So I think the biggest mindset shift when it came to faith was waking up in the morning and being grateful, bro. Like waking up and not picking up my phone and like just sitting down and like, yo, I'm alive. I have breath. I mean, I'm under a roof. I'm in heat right now and it's winter, so I think just thanking God every day that I'm here and that I have the opportunity to go try and do better every day. That was the biggest thing when it came to faith. And then later on my faith started leveling up, but the biggest thing that was a head start in my faith was gratitude.
Man, I love that. I think that for one, it really wires your brain in such a way where you go to work now throughout the day to create more things to be grateful for, because the future is not something you go to, it's this thing that you get to create. But too often, if we're creating it from a state and a mindset of anxiety and stress and being overwhelmed, we're creating a future that's going to look about the same way. But when you have that gratitude, man, it's so essential, and I love that. And I think that's definitely something that everybody on here could use and really watch themselves grow and develop. Even like when you sit down with leads and it's like, man, thank God I got these families to call. Like that I'm actually not knocking on doors, and you just create this right contrast in your mind. Like, dude, there's people like, putting on a roof in 30-degree weather. Like that would suck. And they're not making more money. They don't get paid more if they put the roof on quicker or better. Like they get paid what they get paid for that roof job. And they're doing it in this kind of weather and climate. But man, thank God I got these families that have asked for help, and there's nobody better to call them than me because I care about people. My eyes are focused on them, and there's no better product to provide for them. Thank God I have these families to call. Just that alone builds appreciation, and appreciation is always very tied closely to performance. If you appreciate something, you perform well with it. If you don't appreciate a relationship, you don't appreciate your bank account, you don't appreciate your body, you're not going to perform well. If you don't appreciate your body, you're not going to go to the gym. Why? I don't even care. Like this, I don't care that I'm fat. Like, well, okay. congratulations for not caring. You're going to look like that forever, and you'll probably die 10 years younger. But like, it's appreciation. And thank God that I've got this body, this temple of the Spirit. Like, thank God I've got this. And then you figure out, how do I steward it right? And I love that. Basem, what about you? What's as we wrap up, like, what's something, like, what are you most excited about as far as growing and developing yourself? Like, what's exciting? Like,
what's exciting is that, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a perfect person. Like, there's still things I can work on, obviously.
You and everybody else, bro.
Huh? I can work on my faith more a lot, but I'm, like, right now, I'm excited for what I'm gonna look like a year from now. So that's what I'm most excited for.
What does that look like a year from now? Like, what do you envision as far as income, business?
Number one, get stronger in my faith, have my own place, and just doing the things that I want to do. And yeah.
I love it, man.
Go.
Well, I think for everybody on here, like, that's one of those things where you want to pause and just say, hey, in the next 12 months, where do I want my life to go? What does it look like in 12 months from now? And actually visualize that feeling of what it's going to feel like to have it. Because when you do that, then you're going to be more focused. You're going to be more inclined to sacrifice. Your passion goes up because of what you're going after. And the reality is, you really don't know how passionate you are about something unless you look at the level of sacrifice you're willing to pay the price for. And so if somebody's like, man, I'm very passionate about this business, like, I think it's going to change my life. And it's like, well, dude, like, you don't sacrifice your sleep, like, you sleep in, like, you're not sacrificing, like, your comfortability, like, you go home and watch TV, like, what book are you reading? You're not studying and being studious with podcast, and you're not getting on the Discord and watching people that are doing the right thing and have the right example. You're not on that. Like, dude, you're not passionate about it. Passion is tied to sacrifice. But if you're like, dude, I could have done this, I could have done that, I'd rather do this, I gave up comfortability here because I know where I'm going and I know what it feels like, that's when the passion goes up. And so I would just encourage you guys to always keep that in front of you. Always have the right trade-off mindset of, like, okay, I'm going to pay the price, not just to pay the price. I'm not going to go through this painful situation of staying until 9 o'clock at night when you probably have other things you might be wanting to do other than sit here and dial at 9 o'clock at night. But your vision of where you want to go is so great that you're not even feeling the pain because your mind is in the payoff of what it's going to produce when you get there. And that just pushes and pulls you right through that painful process. And before you know it, you look up and you're like, dude, how did I get here? Because the truth is this. It's going to be a lot more painful than you think. Like, this is just getting started. I mean, like, it's like the third month and you guys are going to issue pay, $40,000 plus. You're halfway through, you're already at 20. It'd be weird if you didn't hit 40. In fact, if you don't hit 40, it's going to freak me out. I'm going to have to just, like, put you down in a different, you'll be downstairs. But, like, it's, and you're just getting going. Does that mean it's always going to be perfect? No, you're going to have issues, chargebacks, people falling off. You're going to learn all kinds of things. You'll be learning, pains as you go from this level to the next level as you continue to progress. But if your eyes are focused on what it's going to look like when you have the business where you want it to be, when you're leading by example, when you're encouraging people, when you're empowering people, when you can see somebody, Caiden and Basem, on your team that goes out there and they have breakthrough and they're doing things for their family that they never thought they could do and they never really would have been able to do with a 9-to-5 job. But because they make what they make, they can bless this church, they can give here, they can help their family out, they can live what they want to live, they can drive what they want to drive, they can have financial freedom, they can go to this restaurant instead of that restaurant, they can fly for. When they can start to do things that they normally would have never been able to do, man, it's beautiful. And so you want to catch that feeling as well. Success and significance, you can have both of those here, which is not very common. And it does take the right mindset. And so, guys, I hope this served you and served you well. This was a blessing to me. It was great to have you guys on here. Make sure to subscribe, like this, share this. And the goal is this. It's to go after your Monday, attack it with the best mindset you could have. Start casting some votes for the higher level you, the higher, more disciplined, more mentally tough you. And by the end of the week, you look up and your week will be a lot better than what it was the prior week. So, guys, we love you. Make it a massive week. Be strong. Stay steadfast. And we'll talk to you next week. God bless you guys.